Hello, Pod Posse. It's me, Lindsay the Stager, and you are watching Design Time from the Floor Up. Today we have Lauren Klein, my friend and realtor.
Hi.
Give it up for Lauren! Woo! I mean, talk about a gorge guest. Look at this blonde hottie.
Lindsay, it takes one to know one.
Oh, please. I have wet hair, and I am in my bedroom.
So do I.
Oh, no, it's so good. You look awesome.
Thanks. Thank you.
So I'm asking you right from the start, it seems like everybody who started at one little company has now gone off. Are you still with Fonville Morrissey?
Still with Fonville Morrissey.
I love that.
Yeah, don't fix it. Right.
That's awesome.
I've loved it there, and they've helped me tremendously in getting started and just giving me a lot of tips from the beginning that other people, frankly, said to do the opposite. And I just kind of trusted their process and hosted the open houses, phone duty, sitting there answering the phones and just grinding. I mean, in the beginning, when you're starting out as an agent, you're essentially working for free, right? And just doing that,
When was that? When did you start?
So it's actually very easy for me to remember this because I found out I was pregnant with Catherine and started on the same day. And that was 7 years ago. Last month, 7 years ago.
Wow. Congrats. That's a long time. And
but it still in some ways it still feels like I'm somewhat new because it's always something new in real estate and the market's always evolving and changing. So I never feel like, obviously I'm never going to know everything, but
did you know that they say if you can, like new business starters / owners, you are successful after completing 2 years. So you're like 2 + 5.
Right. So I think about this a lot. Just the amount of agents that I started with, that I did the new agent training with, that I did the pre-licensing classes with, I don't know any that are still around.
Damn.
Big business. I know.
And also, let's do the math. If I started Lindsay the Stager September 2017, I was staging for like 3 years before that, but not on my own yet. Mm-hmm. So how far, what year did you start?
So I started in 2016.
And so had you been working with a stager before you found me?
No.
And did you start working with me? Everybody in my life, from Rob Parton to Kara Pierce to Catherine Baldwin, who have all been on this podcast.
Yeah.
Whatever I said at that Fonville Morrissey meeting,
I know, you really should. So I don't think I connected with you from a sales meeting. I think I connected with you. Someone in my firm recommended you. And then I think I up your social media or something. And I was like, I like her. She's awesome. And then, I think I had a listing coming up, and, maybe it wasn't my very first listing, but one of the first few where, I've always felt like staging is so important. And I thought, okay, well, this girl really seems to know what she's doing, and I want her to help me. So
I'm so glad.
I'm calling Lindsay. And then on top of, being an amazing stager, you're a great person. And
God damn it, Lauren, you should be on here more often.
I really like her.
Aww. And we're like friends now, which is so cool because adults, not to mention mothers, we're not we have all the friends that we need. We're not out to hang.
I know. Exactly. And it's hard to find people that you really genuinely like and could just sit and talk. That's what we're doing today.
Well, what a great segue, because the people that you and I have had the most success with are your adult friends.
That's
true.
But
that you've known forever.
True.
And I am beyond excited to say that we had a bit of a challenge. And I say that lightly because here you have amazing people, a husband and wife with no children. Instead of children, they have animals, like a full zoo. And I'm not just talking normal animals. I'm talking ferret.
A chipmunk.
And a chipmunk. And like 7 cats.
Right.
Okay, so add all of that into a $1.5 million home in Hazentree, which is like a snooty, beautiful, elite, brand new money, rich place to live. And like when you walked into their house, the stairway, a double stairway of like going into Tara and Gone with the Wind and Tara, what is it?
I've never seen Gone with the Wind, believe it or not. I've got to add that to the list.
Oh my God. It's so funny that you say that because the main character, Scarlett O'Hara, they compare to an Aries female, which is me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She's just a very strong, this is what we're going to do. She kind of wants to change the world kind of debutante. Okay. So anyway, that wasn't the first home that we did with them. First, we staged their first home and it went really smoothly.
Right.
But the thing is about staging a $1.5 million home, that's a hard ask.
Yeah.
Because not everybody has 1.5 to spend.
Right. And here's the thing I want to say too. Hazentree is sort of its own animal and its own market aside from Wake County.
It is.
There are homes in there, even, 2 years ago when things were going in a day or coming soon, things were going on the market even before being active and, $100,000 over asking. Hazentree has always just homes sit in that neighborhood, frankly. And so I was a little concerned about that. I don't like my listings to sit. And yeah. I was concerned about that. And
but another good thing about you is that when you called me back, because we knew this couple from before, we staged and you sold their house from before, and now they've only been in this like new house for like a couple years, and they're moving again too. But here's the thing. They have this beautiful $1.5 million home, ginormous 20-foot ceilings with a flagstone fireplace, the double stairs like I told you, like you want to walk down for your wedding. But we were scrambling in the 11th hour to like get bedding and art and dishes. Like we just didn't have what we needed. And so it was so fun to work with you because you were there with all your stuff and you pulled together the little, the gook.
Oh, the gook. Yes.
Tell everybody what the gook is.
So, and I have seen these spaces underneath the stairs. And it's always wasted space. It's always...
Hold on. Was that your husband?
Can you see him?
Yeah. He's so in the podcast now. Hi.
He's just gone
so perfect. I love it. It's like that guy that like made history on the news. He was doing some sort of Zoom and his cat like walked across.
This part out, right? Okay, so there's that one where somebody has like a sex toy on a shelf. Have you seen that?
So good.
Okay, so we were talking about what did we call it? The gook.
The gook. Yeah. The gaming nook.
So I've seen a lot of spaces like that in, showing other people's listings. And I've always wanted to do something like that, just make it a fun little space for,
a kid.
Yeah, for a kid to go under there. And, why not? I mean, I would have loved something like that when
Me too.
And those are the sort of intangibles that sell houses that, people walk in, their kids say, oh my gosh, I have to have this, mommy.
I know. And we decided that we were going to do it, but it was like in the last second that I remembered, and you came over with like pillows and a lamp and like books, and we made it into a gook, like a gaming nook for kids. It's like that little place under the stairs that has a door opening that nobody knows what to do with it. And that is what stagers are supposed to do. Define the space. Tell the buyers what to do with that.
Exactly.
So did we get asking or over, or just like a hot cash offer?
It was asking and a really strong offer. I mean, nearly all cash. She only financed. It was fabulous single lady.
Amazing.
You know, it was,
What is she going to do with that big old house by herself?
she's going to fill that fabulous closet with tons of shoes and handbags and clothes. And
That was the best closet we got to do. That was so fun.
Yeah.
All right. So why did you decide to be in real estate in the first place 7 years ago?
So I have a marketing background. I worked for a beverage distributor, Miller Brewing Company, became a mom really young, and was a mom and enjoyed being a stay-at-home mom for a while.
What does that mean? How old were you really young? Like, were you 12? That would be interesting.
Yes, that's how I have an 18-year-old. I became a mother. I was 22. I had just finished college, and yeah. So, and in the beginning, I tried to go back to work, and it was not the right time. I couldn't do it. I would cry every day, and just didn't, as a family, we weren't in the place to do that. And so, but that was always the plan for me to, get the kids, situated in school. And, my son, so my oldest is Cameron. She's 18. She's graduating next month. And
oh my God,
Albert Charles, he's 13. And so they were in school full time. The baby at the time had started kindergarten. And, I had this marketing background. I've always been interested in, always looking at houses and love our area. I'm a transplant from New Jersey, so I also can identify with people. We have this huge influx of people moving from all over the world here. And, it was my husband's idea, if I'm being honest. He said, why don't you try being a real estate agent? I could totally see you doing that. Everybody loves you. You love helping people. You're hardworking. You'll do anything for people. It just seems like a good fit. And I thought, maybe I could try to do that. And, maybe it would work with being a mom and the flexibility and that sort of thing, which by the way, the flexibility is sort of a myth because you're always working in this business. But, you work from home a lot and it is flexible. But anyway, started the class.
Hold on a second, Lauren. The reason why, like, my husband says the same thing. You should be a realtor. And I'm like, I don't want to be a realtor. I want to go in and make the home beautiful and then leave. And that's the end of my job. Because you are the one that has to accept an offer when you're watching the fucking 4th of July fireworks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's always like, oh my God, we got the offer. And it's like, we have to stop whatever we're doing, if we're at Mother's Day brunch or whatever.
Well, you remember with the listing that we were just talking about, the Hazen Tree. So we had just done all of the work. And I go to the Azalea Festival, and that's when we got the offer. And so I'm like, oh wait, I better put this cocktail down. Gotta go. So, and yeah, it's fine. I can work just fine with people and things going.
Cocktails.
It was one cocktail at that point, luckily. So I just kind of reeled it in, carried on with my work, and then got back to the cocktail hour later. But
speaking of cocktails.
I need that.
Here's the best part about this pillow. This is from my husband's ex-wife for me. She's kind of a big deal. Her name is Jamie Mears. She owns Furbish, and this is where all of those pillows are sold.
Yes.
But this is like amazing. And also, while we're like talking about some sort of decor, can we talk about being in my brand new bedroom for the first time on the podcast?
Oh, yay. I get to be the first podcast of the new bedroom. I'm so excited.
You really do. And it's because they're reinstalling my chandelier over my dining room table downstairs. Of course, today. They have to do it today because they weren't here for 2 weeks. But now they have to do it downstairs. It has to go over 6 inches or else I'm not going to be able to sleep. But I have been sleeping in this king-size bed. The sheets feel like butter. Like, Lauren, I just would like to extend my gratitude to you and God and Jesus Christ and everybody that counts in the world that never in my life have I been able to have been so successful that I can furnish my new home with new sheets, new rug pads, new rugs, new beds for everyone, new everything. Like, I sold all that old shit, and when I'm like, and like this is where it's all going to come to life. My masterpiece, what I've been waiting to do for 48 years.
Linz, you deserve all of it and more. You're amazing.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. You're amazing.
I mean it. You're amazing. You walk in and you just take over. It's the best. I love it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Pudding. I'm personally, all of the listings that we've worked on together, they've all been a success. So
yeah.
Well,
what do you think realtors did before there was like staging? Because this is like just maybe in the last 10 to 12 to 15 years on the block. It's a new kid on the block.
I really don't know. They marketed their listings and they looked like crap, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's always been a concept to, depersonalize. I hope. I really don't know. I've never thought about that actually, because like we said, I've only been in real estate for 7 or so years. And so I think
you've always
known that, I can even remember looking at houses myself when we were moving to this area, 14 or so years ago. And I remember looking around some of these places and thinking like, why would they leave that there? Why would they do that? They leave that there. And that in itself is the whole idea of why staging is so important, because you don't want people to walk in and say, even if it's something really nice or it's a picture of their family, oh, look at that beautiful family. No, you want them to look at the beautiful countertops, or wow, these floors are beautiful, or you want people to walk in and picture themselves there. You don't want them to think, oh.
So listen to this. This house that I just staged this week on Monday.
Okay.
In Smithfield. Smithfield is far away. It's like...
No, sold a house in Smithfield, multiple houses in Smithfield, actually.
Really?
Yes.
So the realtor always, I am the bad guy. That is like what people call me. So this realtor, the first house I ever staged for her was her personal home before she was a realtor.
Okay.
So we're working together still. And the realtor always is like, okay, this is what I want you to tell them. Because I don't want for you to have to tell them that. I'm the bad guy.
Right.
So she goes, make them replace the carpet. And I'm like, why? How bad is it? And she's like, you'll see.
Oh, man.
So I walk into, and this is like, it's not just about me coming back and like making it feel and look beautiful when we have staging day, but the consultation. Mm-hmm. When I walk in and I saw, 1976 is calling, and they want their green shag wall-to-wall carpet back.
Wow.
And so this is an inexpensive home, and I say that, but it was like around the 200s, which is not, what are you going to say?
Doesn't matter. You still have to stage it, and you're
totally
on the table if you don't. Okay, sorry, go on. I'm very passionate.
No, good. I'm so glad you are. I am too. It doesn't matter if it's 100,000 or 1.5 or 6.5. Like I have staged 6.5 down on Beach Ridge. So, I'm walking through with the husband and the son, and the wife is at work. And out of his mouth, he says, I was looking at this house down the street, but I can't look at it anymore because it has this same carpet, and I can't do this same carpet again. And I'm like, that's what everybody who is going to look at your house is going to say. Exactly. Because they were on the fence about replacing the carpet. Thank God my handy dandy contractor, Melvin, saved the day. They couldn't afford to pay for the whole thing up front. So my amazing contractor, and we've done this for people before, he says, give me the what I need for materials. And then when you get the due diligence money, which is when people are serious and they give you the money to say the house is mine,
right?
Then that's when he gets the end result or payment. So I just did that. But it takes the stager to come in and say, it smells like cat pee in here. And it can't.
Right.
Because you as the realtor are not going to say that, first of all, to your friends.
Right.
That you're selling their house. And second of all, to this person who's looking at you and paying you to sell their home, but you have to keep that relationship.
Such a delicate balance. And
I know.
You are just invaluable. And it's like, for me to go in and say, a lot of times, 9 out of 10 times we're on the same page about things. I would say even almost, I want to say 10 out of 10, but that's maybe a little.
We always are. I think so.
We are, but it's just, even if you just come in and you're, backing me up and also bringing in extra ideas and that kind of thing, because nobody wants to hear that their house smells like their pets, or, sometimes it's, it just smells too much like food or...
Oh, curry. That's a big deal. We got to take a break. Hold on a sec.
Okay.
You know what dancers do on a break? This is like why we smoke,
Should we do some squats?
I was thinking of like doing maybe like a little stretch here and there.
Little pause?
Right? Like if we could just... Oh, that's so good. Look at your skinny little legs.
Oh,
The Design Time from the Flora podcast is sponsored by Florally, your premier source for designer-inspired floors. Use Florally's live chat with real human beings to answer your flooring questions and even book a free in-home consultation.
And we're back.
okay.
There are pictures of me warming up at every stage I ever danced at in complete warmies with a hoodie and Uggs on, outside, holding on to a railing, doing pliés, stretching, with a cigarette in my mouth.
Did you really smoke for real?
Like a chimney. 1.5 packs a day, every day.
Wow.
I didn't know you could answer the phone or start a car without smoking.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it was...
College, social, out at the bar.
I woke up, smoked in my car, smoked in my cabin when I was dancing on a cruise ship. Gross. Blah! And I would be smoking now if I wasn't a mother.
Yeah, it I feel like you're just a different person before you become a mom. It's like...
I am not myself when I'm not smoking.
That person.
I know. I quit like 10 years ago to have Daisy. And also now I'm married to Bikes, and he's like, ugh, I can't believe you were a smoker. And I'm like, we so would never even have spoken in a past lifetime. Curry, cat pee, ferret poop on the wall in the laundry room.
Yeah.
Like, bleh.
I know.
But the thing is that, and this is stuff that we've covered, but I just want to say it again to another realtor. Here we are in the middle of May, 2023. All the realtors said, oh, this is the year that the market is going to balance. I'm sorry. Is this, I mean, I could balance like this.
Yeah.
But really, that's not balancing.
No.
We're still getting a bunch of showings over asking. I mean, do you blame it on the inventory? Is that easy to say?
No, it's easy to say, but it's true. There really isn't a lot of inventory right now. So, I mean, if you put it this way, I feel like the way the market is today, and clearly this is true because we just went through this. If you have a product that is marketed well, it is presented well, you shouldn't have any problem getting an offer within the first couple of days on the market. That's what I'm seeing. And, I mean, there was a time, 5 years ago, if I had a listing that was on the market for 28 days, that was great. We were all happy with that. And now it's still, if you haven't sold your listing, I think in this market right now, within 7 days, you're getting nervous.
Totally.
You've done something wrong too, I think.
So why do you what's the difference in, like, if I haven't heard from a friend and a realtor that I usually stage with, like you for a while, I'm like, why aren't you getting listings? And then they say, oh, I've just had a lot of buyers. What does that mean? Explain.
Right, because we had talked about that. I really hadn't had as many listings for a little while. I had some relocation clients, and in that case, obviously they're selling in a different market and they're buying here. That's really all that was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about what do you think buyers are looking for when it comes to floors? Like, what kind of a girl are you? Are you a carpet? Are you an LVP? Or are you a hardwood?
I am traditional.
I was just about to say something so dirty, but I'll just wait. I like a hardwood myself.
I like a hardwood myself. I like a hardwood. No, for real.
Me too. I mean, we have redone our entire house, and it's universally all hardwood. How many times can we say it? God, my husband would love this. I didn't say morning hardwood. I just said hardwood.
I like hardwoods in the morning. When
I do too.
my coffee.
Yeah. Hardwoods at night, I'm like, I like sober.
I have carpet in my bedroom. There's no hardwood. Okay, enough.
So good though.
Seriously.
Seriously serious.
Let's get serious for 1 second. No, that's not.
Okay, so you have carpet in your bedroom.
I have carpet in my bedroom. I like it that way. I really do.
Yeah.
I like carpets in bedrooms and then everywhere else hardwoods.
So we have hardwoods throughout. It's the original hardwood from 1942 that we've had refinished, and where we added on, we had them match it. So that's easy. You can just get the same stain, and then it looks like it's always been there, like what I have here. But what the solution is, my husband says, I want to get out of bed in the morning and put my feet on something soft.
Right.
He doesn't want to step on a hardwood.
Got it.
So you get a big ass rug.
Right.
You get a big ass rug that goes right, it starts in front of your nightstand,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes out from under the bed, and then you get if you can, by the way, this amazing sofa, $364 from Wayfair in the box. Does it look like that?
No.
I know, right? It looks like an old, weathered...
Yes, I love that.
Thanks.
Good.
I'll try.
That's a really good find.
Yeah. I mean, you have to put it together. But, anyway. What about LVP? Like, do you ever have a buyer that says, I have to have hardwoods, no carpet anywhere, I don't want to... Like, let's talk about, like, the benefit.
Yes. I've heard that so many times. I mean, but here's the thing. I mean, people will say things like that, and then it really is more of just a feeling when they walk into a house, and that all goes out the window if
Totally.
Is, again, the intangibles, things that they see, and it the gook, or it might be
the stairs. They never thought that they were going to see those stairs like that.
Double staircases, but now they've seen it and they have to have it. Or,
Right.
An amazing closet, something like that. But, I do hear, we want all hardwoods everywhere. I don't really hear people saying they necessarily want LVP. Usually it's, this is LVP, but it still looks nice. That kind of thing. A trend
LVP is such the rage. It
is. And anymore, it looks great. It used to, in its infancy, LVP for me was kind of, I was on the fence about it. But now I think it usually looks great.
I think what I enjoy about LVP is that it's not the clickety-clack click of the laminate stick, which is terrible. It's a cheap, horrible sound.
Yes.
And that's the laminate, not the LVP. The LVP is good. It's durable. It sounds solid. And I like the grain in it, and I like how much they have made it look like hardwoods, because here's the deal. When I go into a home and they need new flooring, for instance, let's say I go in and the foyer is flagstone, which is beautiful, but then they have like all different, like then I have carpet on my right in the office and a different flooring on my left in the dining room, and then we go into something else and it's like weird carpet and like cut out and all this, and I'm like, dude, hold on a second, we're gonna add like 1,000 square feet just by making the flooring universal, because that flow is what's gonna make it feel so much bigger. I will recommend LEP because we're not going back to hardwoods because it's so expensive to begin with hardwoods. And then when you change the flooring, it adds so much property value. What do you think about that, Lauren Klein, realtor extraordinaire?
Yes. I mean, I've seen it go, put it this way, both ways, where there have been listings actually that I have lost that have gone on not to sell because I am very passionate about certain things. And you touched on mismatched floors. And I lost a listing because I said, we aren't going to be able to sell. And this was 5 or 6 years ago. Again, the market was different, but it's still important. You're still, maybe in this market, you'll sell the house, but you'll leave money on the table. These people, they had mismatched floors. They had, you walked in and it was Brazilian cherry. And then I think prior to moving in, when they bought the house, there was tile, but they decided they didn't want tile on the kitchen. So instead of getting more of the Brazilian cherry, they went with a different type of hardwood and it was all mismatched. Then you went into the office and it was a whole nother finish. It was kind of a disaster. And I said, no, we really can't. We can't put the house on the market this way. All people are going to do, and all they're going to focus on when they walk in the door is what's going on with these floors.
Yeah.
There's a whole house.
And Lauren, when that happens, they're spending the seller's money already. They're already spending the seller's money instead of putting in a higher offer if it were already finished.
Exactly.
And done for them.
Exactly.
And that's like what I was saying about that green shag carpet. Fine, you don't have the money to put in the green shag carpet, but you better fucking find it because they're going to just pass by the pictures when they see the green carpet, and you've just lost so many buyers like that, as opposed to stealing money or borrowing it from your neighbor or coming up with a deal with your stager and your contractor so that you can make it happen somehow. Because it has to be ready for them, or they're going to be spending your money, or they're just going to walk by the pictures in the first place. And
they're going to pass it by. I mean, that house ended up sitting, and it was, I think, maybe after 4 price reductions. And the funny thing is, I was the one that saw the potential in that house. And after multiple price reductions, I called a friend of mine, and this, again, just a reminder, this is a listing I lost. I called a friend of mine and I said, hey, if you can look past the floors, they just did another price reduction on this house. It was in my neighborhood. And I said, obviously the neighborhood's great. I love it. You can get a great deal on this house. And I ended up bringing the buyer.
Thank God, because you said it's just the floors, isn't it?
I said, look, you're going to have to look past the floors. Just try to look past the floors. But this was after, I want to say, like $70,000 in price reductions.
Unbelievable. And $70,000, I mean, if you think about replacing floors, which would go from $5,000 to $7,500.
Right.
That is so much more to lose. So what you're saying, and what we can tell the Pod Posse, who are on the edge of their leather $364 sofas waiting for this answer, is flooring has so much to do with selling a house.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It starts from the foyer when you walk in. It just has to have the flow. And yeah, it's really, really important. And if the realtor hadn't have called me in to make something happen to replace this carpet, not to mention it smells nice. And also, who wants to know when a house was built and know that the carpet dates back to then?
Right.
And bring their family in there.
When you start playing that game of, okay, this is clearly original and this is when the house was built. So you're looking at, 50-year-old carpet. Eek.
Oh my God.
No.
Hey, did you have a nice Mother's Day?
I did. It was it was great. I ended up cooking with my friend. It wasn't part of the plan. My husband was working. Her husband was working. We hung at the pool all day. Her husband is a chef. He was supposed to be flying in from an event he was doing that day and come to my house and cook for us. He got delayed.
Oh my God.
Well, we're going to get a Mother's Day rain check, but we still had a fabulous day. And we were joking that, we didn't really need them to have a great day. We were just drinking by the pool and cooking and having
That's
fun.
so fun. What did you cook?
We did lobster tails. So that
God
didn't.
damn it.
Yeah.
That's fancy pants.
I know. And yeah. Lobster tails. I did those. She did broccolini and we roasted some potatoes. So it was easy and fancy and kind
That's
of
awesome.
like, I guess, just kidding. Easy and fancy.
I have declared that moving forward with my 9-year-old and 3-year-old, that on Mother's Day, I will not be around. Okay?
I'm hearing this is a trend. So I was actually, as I said, I was at the neighborhood pool that day and there were a couple of dads there with the kids. And I'm like, where's your wife? She's gone.
Uh-huh.
She just by herself today. And I thought, why didn't I think of that? That's kind of brilliant.
It is. And it's something that you can declare and you totally deserve it.
No. No.
What?
I said, who's going to tell you no? I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
And last Mother's Day, we're always at the beach in Wrightsville Beach. And my adorable mother-in-law always makes a reservation at the Bridge Tender, which is very nice. But honestly, I don't want to be around family on Mother's Day. I don't want to dress up. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be with my kids at a restaurant. That's like hell to me.
Yeah. Well, that was how my friend and we came up with this plan. It was, we don't want to be at a restaurant. We knew that. I mean, it's the busiest restaurant day of the year.
Oh,
and I mean, she and her husband, they have their own restaurant. They know, they're like, we don't want to be at a restaurant.
but guess what makes it worse? So River, the 3-year-old, last week brought home the stomach bug. Of course, Sykes is like barfing violently all night Thursday night, which makes me up, of course, because this house is like new and very echoey. So I heard every single part of it. Awesome. But by Sunday, he's still not feeling great. So he doesn't even go to the restaurant. It's just me and my in-laws and my children on Mother's Day. But I can't complain because my husband made it very sweet. I was not expecting a dozen roses on Saturday.
Oh.
And then, like the kids made the cutest things. Daisy wrote like a dissertation letter for me.
Oh,
so sweet. River made like a bouquet of his handprints, which is like the most amazing thing. I should have it here to show you. But
I got not to brag, but I got a handmade best mom bracelet. So
oh my God, that's amazing, from your 13-year-old son.
No, of course not. It's from my 6-year-old daughter, Catherine.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yes,
I forgot about her.
Handmade cards and flowers and a pair of not handmade earrings, nice earrings. So yeah, no, they all did great. And it's not my husband's fault he had to work.
Well, yeah, and also here's another thing about husbands. My dad has been saying my whole life, when my mom complained that he needed to do more, Dad would say to Mom, "You're not my mother." Now that I'm a mother, I even said this to my dad on Sunday. I'm like, Dad, you can't say that, because Mom is the reason, you are the reason why Mom is a mother.
Right.
And you should spoil the mother of your children. I know that she's not your mother. I know who your mother is. She's my grandmother. But when I woke up on Sunday morning, having been allowed to sleep in, which was so nice, I slept until like 9:50, for fuck's sake. It was awesome.
That's amazing.
But Bikes got me this like really soft blanket that said "Best Mom Ever."
Oh.
And a wine glass that said "Best Mom Ever." Like these cute little like Amazon finds that he must have had to look for. And then I was drinking out of a coffee cup that said "Best fucking mom ever."
Oh. Well, you know
That
how
is so
feel.
cute.
You know how I feel about drinkware with potty language on it.
Let's please talk about the See You Next Tuesday teacup. Please.
Remember, right?
Yeah. When I came across that, Pod Posse, what we're talking about is I'm always looking for like a coffee cup to put at the end of the bed with an open book or something to evoke coziness.
I
Hit it,
mean,
Lauren. Tell them what we found at our little couple's house.
so a while back, and again, these are clients, but more than that, dear friends. And yeah, I mean, sometimes you just stumble across things on the internet and you're like, yeah, you know what? My friend needs a teacup that says cunt on it.
Yes.
He needs that.
And so I come across that and I immediately fall in love with them. And then I'm like, where did you get this? And it's from you. And I'm like, win, win, win. A teacup that says cunt. I love everything about this.
Oh, I wish we had a picture of it because it's all dainty and
good.
vintage flowers on it. It looks all
Totally.
pretty, but it says cunt. Awesome.
Do you watch the movie Bridesmaids?
Yes, I've seen it.
I watch it with my fam. It's wildly inappropriate. That's how we roll. They request it. Can we watch Bridesmaids? And when Kristen Wiig leans forward and goes, "You're a little cunt."
Well, you're an old, single loser who's never gonna have any friends.
You're a little cunt.
It's so funny.
Funny. Oh, that movie it's hilarious. I can really relate to the scene where Melissa McCarthy takes home like 7 puppies.
Oh my God.
They have
Speaking
the
of,
party favors, and she's like,
no, she is not getting a dog. I know. Speaking of that, on my Mother's Day card, Daisy wrote, "I am saving you, Megan. This is life. Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? I am saving you, Megan." That's what she wrote on my card. And Daisy comes up with these little things in the back seat, and she'll be like, she'll start acting like Megan McCarthy, and she'll be like, "I just put a loaded gun in Dougie's carry-on bag."
oh my gosh. Well, that's like Catherine. She'll just bust out with like, elf quotes, "Bye, buddy. I hope you find your dad."
They're so cute. Oh,
right. They're
I know.
the best movies. I mean, there's really nothing else that's important.
Daisy was watching Sex and the City, both movies, like since she was 3. Because when you're a single mom and you're tired of watching Peppa Pig, we watch Sex and the City, and that's what's happening. What else would happen?
That's so funny you say that. So my oldest, she's 18, and we've been, start to finish watching all of Sex and the City. And the other night, Catherine was in the room, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I
know. I will just have to somehow come up and how to explain Lawrence of my labia. That was a question. Mom, what is she saying? Why is that so funny? Lawrence of my labia. I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, the vagina is made up of some folds. This is going to be awesome.
Yes.
Well, speaking of Lawrence of my labia, that's all the time that we have for today. Lauren Klein.
Oh, boo.
I know. Should we go and have lunch now? Are you going to be able to?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Where are we going?
Well, would you like to have an alcoholic beverage?
Probably.
Where are you?
I'm in, it's technically Cary, intersection of Kildare and 10 Road area.
Intersection of alcoholic lunch and who the fuck cares?
Lindsay, are you already having your alcoholic lunch at home?
No. It's just my rig likes to just be like, all right, and that's a wrap. Well, on that note, Pod Posse, thank you so much for listening to Lauren Klein and I today be realtors and working companions and fun friends, because that's what we are. It's important to have girlfriends, whether you're a mom or a man or whatever. Always keep your hardwoods. That's what I'm going to say.
Keep your hardwoods hard? Are we going to say?
Yeah. Always keep your hardwoods hard. In the morning, at lunchtime, or at night.
Yes.
The end. Thank you so much for joining us today, Lauren Klein, you beautiful mama.
Well, thank you for having me. So much fun.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying this episode, please like, comment, or subscribe. If you don't like it, then f*** off.